The Galactic Union was old. It had brought together hundreds of intelligent species. They built cities on moons, made peace across light years, and solved problems with science. But when something new appeared at the edge of the galaxy, everything changed. It was not a planet, not a ship. It was something ancient, a black structure, the size of a sun. It had one message. The trial has returned. Long ago, the constructors, a lost and powerful species, had built it. A test. A challenge. One that decided if a race was ready to join the deeper level of the universe. No one knew what waited beyond, but everyone wanted to pass. The rules were simple. Each species would send a team of 2 to enter the trial. The trial was full of danger: lava storms, poison air, moving ground, monsters, and time loops. It tested the body, the mind, and the heart. You had to survive 30 days. No tools, no contact, no mercy. The insect-like trek failed on day 3. The glowing Viren vanished on day 5. The telepathic neuro fell apart by day 7. Every species tried. Every species crumbled. And then the humans signed up. The room went quiet. The aliens looked at each other. One whispered, "The Deathworlders from Earth." Another laughed, "They'll last 10 minutes. A scientist from the UN shook his head. "Earth is too wild. They're not ready." But the humans didn't care. They sent G1, a man who had grown up in the metal cities of New Busan. His legs were fake after he lost the real ones in a mine explosion, but he joked about them all the time. With him was Heron, a calm woman who had survived a plague on Goryeo colony when she was a child. Everyone in her town died. She lived alone for 82 days before help came. She never talked about it. The two stood in front of the Galactic Council. "Why do you want to try the trial?" someone asked. Jiwan smiled. "We're from Earth. This sounds like fun." Heron added softly. "We're used to things that want to kill us." They were dropped into the trial together. No weapons, no maps, just survival suits made of smart fabric. The planet was burning red. The sky was black with acid clouds. Sharp rocks covered the land. Every few minutes, the ground shook. Big flying beasts circled overhead. Within the first hour, one of those beasts attacked. It looked like a snake with wings. Jiwan threw a rock at it. "Nice aim," Heron said. "Learned it from my grandma," he replied. They ran into a cave. It was full of glowing insects. One bit G1. "Ah, I missed this kind of pain," he laughed. The galactic cameras watched everything. The trial was recorded for science. The other species had screamed, cried, begged for help. But the humans, they made jokes. On day 2, Giwan found a small stream. The water was dirty, but Heron boiled it using heated rocks and built a filter using moss and sticks. Giwan clapped. "Look at you, camping queen." She rolled her eyes. "You're lucky I didn't poison it." They built a small shelter using bones of a dead creature. It smelled bad, but kept them warm. At night, the temperature dropped below freezing. Heron cuddled close to Giwan. "Not out of love, but survival. Don't get ideas," she said. "I'm already married to fear," he replied. By day 4, they had hunted small lizard-like things for food. Heron cooked them over hot stones. Giwan said it tasted like old chicken. "Better than Martian rations," he joked. On day 6, there was a mental test. The trial sent strange sounds: crying, screaming, voices from their past. Heron heard her mother calling. She stood up, ready to walk into the fire. But Giwan grabbed her hand. "She's not there. It's the trial. Look at me." She blinked, breathing hard. "I'm here," he said. "Stay with me." She nodded. "Thanks." In another room of the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched in silence. "They're not scared. They're making jokes. They should be crying. They're Earthlings," someone whispered. "Earth is a death world." By day 8, the humans had made a plan. They mapped the nearby area using rocks and sticks. Giwan gave names to the hills. "That one's Mount Almost Died, and that's Cliff. Oops." They found a glowing lake on day 10. It was full of acid, but under it was clean water. Heron built a siphon tool using their emergency tubes. Giwan did a little dance when he drank. The trial released a gas on day 12 made to cause fear and hallucinations. Jiwan ran in circles screaming about spiders. Heron smacked him with a stick. "You done?" He nodded. "I was testing the air quality." "You're a fool," she said. "But a hydrated fool." He grinned. By day 14, they had tamed a beast. It looked like a 6-legged tiger. G1 fed it cooked bugs. Heron tied vines around its neck. They called it Dubu, a word that meant tofu back on Earth. The Galactic Union started to panic. They're riding monsters. They're building tools. They're enjoying it. A galactic AI said, "This is not normal. This is dangerous. Should we stop the test?" "No," said the Supreme Speaker. "Let's see how far they'll go." On day 15, Guan recorded a video. His face was covered in dirt. His fake leg was broken. He still smiled. "To my friends back on Earth, don't worry. This place isn't that bad. Just feels like camping in summer." Heron says hi. Heron leaned into the camera. "Please send better food next time." The trial was halfway done. Every other species had failed before this point. The humans were still standing, still, laughing, and not even close to giving up. Day 16 began with thunder that cracked the sky open. Ash fell like snow. The ground was hot and soft under their feet, like walking on flesh. New monsters came taller, louder, smarter. The trial was changing. The test was now serious, but Ju only stretched and said, "Back pain again. Means I slept well." Heron handed him a piece of dried lizard meat. "Eat. The beast may return." They were being hunted. A large creature bigger than any so far had followed them since. Day 15. They called it Stoneback, because its back looked like a mountain. It didn't sleep. It didn't bleed. That day, they didn't fight it. They trapped it. And Heron lured it into a canyon, used fire to scare it forward, then dropped a cliff on top of it using ropes and sharp vines. It screamed. Loud, then silent. G1 leaned on a rock. That scream hurt my ears. Heron gave a small smile. Maybe it had dreams too. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched with stiff faces. Impossible. They're making jokes after killing a trial beast. They're not just surviving. They're winning. More than 40 species had entered the trial over the last 10 years. Not one lasted beyond day 12. And now, these two humans had passed day 16 with jokes and teamwork. Day 17 to day 22 brought strange weather. First came the black rain that burned holes through cloth. Heron used the slime of the dead bugs to coat their suits. It worked. G1 danced under it, like a child playing in water. Then came the floating rocks, giant stones, lifted by magnetic force, spinning and crashing from the sky. One hit near their shelter. They didn't run. They built a new home inside the rock. "House in the sky," G1 said. "Only rent is not dying." On day 24, the trial changed again. Not with storms, but with fear. Jiwan dreamed of drowning. Heron dreamed of her family screaming. The trial was inside their minds now, breaking their hearts from within. Heron woke up shaking. "I saw my brother. He said I left him." G1 touched her shoulder. "He'd be proud. You're alive. You're saving more lives." She nodded. Just once. But G1 had his own fear. That night, he sat alone, looking at his metal legs. He remembered the mine collapse. Trapped for 6 days. Drinking rusty water. Eating paper. Screaming for help. No one came. Until one old miner dug through with bare hands. That man died later. But G1 never forgot him. He whispered to himself, "I'll survive for both of us." On day 26, the trial changed for the final time. An alien terrorist group hacked the system. They hated humans. They added a new layer. Drone hunters with plasma, guns, and spinning blades. The drones attacked at sunrise. Heron was hit in the arm. Blood spilled. G1 covered her, grabbing a bone spear. He jumped, stabbed the drone, pulled out its core, and smashed it with a rock. The camera caught everything. Across the galaxy, people watched in silence. Did he just kill a war drone? With a rock? He's laughing. Indeed, G1 stood over the burning drone. His face covered in dirt and sweat, laughing like he was watching a funny movie. Dragged Heron to safety. Her arm was bleeding bad. "Do we stop now?" she whispered. He shook his head. "Almost there." They used parts from the drone to make weapons. Heron, even with one arm, aimed well. By day 28, they had destroyed 12 drones. The trial had turned into war and humans were built for war. On day 29, the entire landscape shifted. Lava rivers opened. The gravity doubled. The ground split like paper. G1 could barely move. Heron collapsed. It should have been the end. But Heron looked up and said, "Don't stop." G1 smiled, coughing. "I hate losing." They crawled, inch by inch, through fire, through smoke, through pain so deep it made their bones cry. And then, day 30. A voice spoke in the sky. The first time the trial ever spoke. "You are finished. You have survived." A platform rose. It carried them up, into light, into air that smelled like earth. Safe, clean. Heron passed out. Ji-won held her tight. Across the galaxy, species watched the screen. There were no cheers. Only silence. Deep, respectful silence. Then, finally, an old alien said, "They are not strong because they were made to survive. They are strong because they chose to survive." The Galactic Council offered Earth's full access to the deep systems. They offered power, trade, respect. But Ji-won, standing with Heron by his side, said only, "We didn't do it for the prize." Heron added, "We did it because that's what humans do." A small Kaitari reporter, shaking with fear, asked, "Was it hard?" Ji laughed. "We called it Hell Camp. 10 tenths. Would not recommend." They walked out of the chamber, their bodies broken, their minds exhausted, but their heads were held high. And as they left, someone whispered, not in fear, but in awe, "The trial didn't test them. It warned us."